So what's in there? Hive Pocket by Smart Zone Games. This is a fun little game that I thought that would be good to grab to play with the kids. I think I have a good concept of this game. I think it's sort of like a insect version of chess almost, the way the pieces can move around the board. So I'm going to go ahead and open this and see what we got. Looks like this one's got a lot of different awards for tabletop play, board games, and things like that. Dice Tower, you know, things like that. So let me go ahead and open this up and see what we got in here. Get it out of the plastic here. Alright, so looks like we got the tokens, different color tokens for the players. A little travel bag, that's the pocket version of it, you know, Hive Pocket. This is this version. There is a main version. This version's more of a travel game. So looks like we got instructions. We'll take a look at those in a minute. All right, so the game pieces are these little kind of acrylic type of tokens. So that's pretty cool. Let's open these up here and see what they look like. All right, so yep, pretty much all identical tokens. If you see like the ladybug there's always going to be the same version insect for both players. So real quick, what I think of this game, and pretty much how it is played, is the name of the game is to surround each player's queen bee with other insects with the different colors. So there's ways to, you know, make sure that you surround the player's queen bee. I think that's pretty much how you win the game. There's different ways to move each insect. Like this spider might be able to just move one spot. The ladybug might be able to go around the perimeter and things like that. So I'm going to go through the directions and maybe try to get a couple sample games in to see how they're played. But that's pretty much what comes in Hive Pocket. Let's see, is there two different? Looks like there might be two. Oh, this is in French. Alright, so we got English directions and it looks like French directions. Alright, so I finally went through and we had a couple play tests, a couple games. My son and I played a few games, 3 to be exact. Very easy game to pick up. It was very easy for my son, who's 6, to kind of get the concept, maybe not the strategy so much, but the concept of where these, or how these pieces kind of move around the board. So I'll kind of give a little more detail on movement and really the goal of the game. So like I said just earlier, the name of the game to win is to surround your opponent's queen bee. And in order to do that, players take turn by setting up one of their insect tiles on the board. So at that starting point is the only point where each player can put down a token of their color next to the opponent's color. So to start the game, if they take turns, so the black player put that down, the white player put that down. The subsequent turn, the black player can put another insect down, but it has to be only touching his colored tile. And then players alternate doing that each turn. So each turn you can either put a new tile down, a new insect tile down, or you can move one of the ones you already placed. The caveat to that is on or before your fourth turn of the game, you have to put down your queen bee. You have to. So it could be turn 1, 2, 3, or 4, but at least by turn 4, your queen bee needs to be on the board. Just going through movement real quick. Each bug or each insect has a different way it can move around the board. So a quick scenario to give you, let me see if I can pull a few of these insects here on the board to give you a little idea. All right, so queen bee's down. There we go. So on your turns, each insect can move around the board, or you can put a new tile down. The spider can move around the outside of the board, but it has to move exactly 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3. It has to go at least 3 spots. The soldier ant here, this blue one, it can move around the board as many spots or segments as it can, but it has to always touch on the outside of the board. What else do we have here? The grasshopper. The grasshopper can move in a direct line, but it cannot move around the outside of the board. It has to go in a direct line over other tiles. So would be a legal move straight through for the grasshopper. The beetle right here. The beetle here can only move 1 spot on the outside here. But the beetle can also move on top of the hive, and when it does so, it takes the effect it cancels out the effect of whatever is underneath them. So if the beetle's here and it jumps on top of that spider, it cancels out that spider, so now that spider cannot do anything, but it can only move 1 spot at a time on the hive or around the hive. The other 2 insects that are new or bonus insects to this particular version is the ladybug and the mosquito. The ladybug can move 3 spots, but at least 2 of the spots have to be on top of the hive. So if I was going to move this ladybug, it would have to be 1, 2, and then 3 down. Okay, but it has to be at least 2 on top of the hive. The mosquito, on the other hand, it can be placed just the same way as other pieces. Once that's in play, it takes the movement characteristics of any creature it touches at that time, including your opponents, right? So if the mosquito's here, it's touching this beetle, that's the characteristics the mosquito's got. So the mosquito can move 1 spot and it can go on top of the tile. The queen bee can move also. The queen bee can only move 1 spot. I believe it's around the outside of the board. Let me just double check that real quick. Can move 1 space per turn. Yep, so it's 1 space per turn, and that's it. It cannot go on top of the hive. So this one would just be only to move 1 space around the board. So once again, object of the game is to surround your opponent's queen bee, and by surrounding that bee, it can be either tile, right? So right now, if you see this queen bee, the black queen bee, is surrounded on 3 sides. So in order for the white player to win, it would need to somehow enclose this queen bee. And right now, the white player would win because it's completely encompassed the black queen bee. So that's pretty much Hive Pocket in a nutshell. I think it's a great quick game, especially this Hive Pocket version, because it's an easy travel size. It comes with this little bag and you can bring it on car trips, road trips, plane. I feel like you can pretty much play this wherever you go. Very fun game. Like I said, my 6-year-old picked the movements up pretty easily. Maybe not the strategy, but the movements. So yeah, that's what I think of Hive Pocket, and that's what's in there. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.